Welcome back, everybody. I'm here with my good friend and colleague, immigration attorney, David Yurkofsky. David, how are you?
Hello, everybody. I'm fine. Thank you. How are you today, John?
I'm doing good. Today is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all of our watchers and viewers out there, and to all the fathers that are with us and no longer with us. And David, I know how much your father meant to you, and really what a great man he is. The way that you talked about him. So
Yeah,
memory to all the great fathers out there.
yeah.
But I wanted to you posted on LinkedIn earlier this week a not a tweet but a truth social, I think, um from President Trump about, and this was kind of big news this week, about how he told his ICE people to back off with the farmers and the hospitality industry.
Which is a pretty big industry. That's a lot of.
Hotels, restaurants, it's massive. 14 million people they employ in the US, 14 million. But tell me a little bit about that. What was that? What was that?
Well, actually, I actually don't follow Truth, but I saw it in a CBS. Just popped up on my phone and read it through, and I did check I clicked on the Truth Social link, and there it was, and it even referred to. I could read it to you, but basically, it referred to. We need to have common sense. Now that's the guy from Queens who employed lots of contractors and builders and cleaning people at his hotels and I don't know what else. So I don't see how, he has to show how tough he is after all they say millions came. I don't understand how thousands of people can come across the border every day like that, but that's what they say. And it's not only the Republicans saying it. Apparently, it's the immigration, whatever, who count it, claim like 20 million people. The numbers are unbelievable. So he had to prove how tough he was. But maybe he's done that. Maybe, maybe the tide is going to turn now and he can show, because after all, he wants to be a hero too. And he doesn't want to go down as the guy who separated a child from his mother's arms because, as Joe Rogan said, because she walked over a fake line over some dirt, and we let them do it. Sometimes we were holding up dollars at the border, saying, "Come on in, you can work in our farm, you can work in a hotel. Come on, everybody. Country's not going to stop you." And they didn't. So, we were kind of winking, nudge, nudge. Come on, come on. And, it's an exploitation of, quote, illegal labor, lower wages, all that. And, I mean, at some point we have to fix this. And, what's even more amazing, of course, is that this Salazar, proposal, which is seemed to be perfectly in line, known as the Dignity Act. This is fantastic concept. Want to
Yeah,
tell us about that?
yeah, absolutely. I was fortunate enough to meet with their chief of staff uh past couple of months, and so we saw he had the version of the 2025 act. The 2023 act is on Representative Salazar's website. We're going to link it in the section below, the description below, so you can see that. So some of the things are going to stay, like some of the great things we think, like dual intent for F1 student visa holders, which would be
An amazing proposal.
yeah,
I mean, even O1 visa holders hardly have that, and H1Bs and E2s. Okay, L1s have it, but this whole non-immigrant intent thing should be reserved for tourists. I mean, I don't know why but it puts everybody in a catch-22 who's
exactly.
working and going to school in America. So this whole concept of you can't have the intent to want to stay and live in America and, get a green card one day. You can't have that in your mind when you're a student. And if they eliminate that, imagine all the EB3 workers that are out there. It'll make their lives much easier because when that happens, it makes it harder for them to travel. And every time they cross the border, they have to worry that they're going to say, "Hey, we see in the computer you may be applying for a green card," and worrying about all that. Now they're not going to have to worry about it anymore. They'll be free.
Yep. Yep. That's why it's great. Another one is that we've talked about before is removing, uh, and this is only from the count, removing dependents for being counted or the other worker, the 10,000 other worker category. People get confused about this because we get a lot of comments saying, wait a minute, won't my wife be able to come with me? So that doesn't change at all. Your wife and kids still come with you. They still get the green card at the same time. It's just it's just the way that they're not counted in the worker quota. So
They never should have been counted because that's insane.
so yeah, so we did kind of a back of the envelope analysis, and we thought that about half of the 10,000 were workers. When we talked to the Congresswoman's office, they said that 70% of the 10,000 are dependents. So only 3,000 are the actual workers. So the idea is if it's just workers, then the visa bulletin cutoff date should really move forward pretty quickly, maybe to current.
But I mean, what was the fastest? These things always go up and down. And of course, patience is a virtue. Look, it takes 4 years usually to get a college degree. So if it takes 3 or 4 years to join the American club, to join the green card club, but if you can do it twice as fast as getting a college degree, 2 years, I think the fastest I ever saw was like from start to finish, the perm and the green card, like the whole thing took less than 2 years. Like it was amazing when they were available. It could take as little as like 15 months, 16 months if it's all running smoothly and they're doing the perms in 2 or 3 months. And then they're doing the I-140 with premium processing and the green card's available. And that takes 6 to 8. It could be as little as 14 months, don't you think?
That's the way it was, and it was not that long ago. So,
When was that?
I mean, you can go back in different periods in time, but, maybe even 10 years ago, or less than 10. But, another crowded risk is not just the applicant's waiting time, it's the employer's waiting
Oh,
time.
yeah.
They've already proved and spent money to show that they do not have enough US workers to fill all their open positions. So they need them sooner rather than later. So, the processing time speed up is for the employers also.
Wa
Uh,
was Isn't that gonna foster economic growth and people are gonna be willing to open up another McDonald's or another whatever? I mean,
I mean, study after study shows that the more immigrants that are working, then the more US workers that are working, and the more productive the economy is and GDP. Uh,
and it can reduce that this could help reduce the deficit if you have, 20 million more workers paying taxes. That might and a higher rate of growth with less regulation they're talking about implementing in their bill that's coming up. I mean, it could it really could be a golden days ahead.
Absolutely. And so that's the reason, I'm investing, when you donate to in the US, this is for people that don't know much about the US political system. Uh, you can only donate as an individual. You can't donate as a business unless you're part of a PAC or political action committee. And so myself personally, um, I'm donating as much as I can, as I'm allowed to, of my own personal funds to support the Dignity Act because it's the most. You and I have been around a long time, and we've seen proposals that look practical and proposals that look unpractical. This,
I read the last two immigration reform acts that were like 1,000 pages each, thinking they would pass, and then I'm not reading any more 1,000-page bills until it's passed and signed into law.
so there's a lot that I like about this. I like that Representative Salazar is a Republican. Um, and I like that it's this is nothing outlandish. These are basic common sense um,
It
improvement. And so.
Absolutely, absolutely common sense and dignity. Whoever thought of that? It's such a good word to choose for this.
Yeah.
It's really on target. I mean, especially, it also will help those kids who were brought here when they were 3 years old, when the border was wide open. And again, the US kind of went wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I mean, I read George W. Bush's book, his art book, and he has paintings of different famous people in his life or that he met. And one of them was the lady who brought him and his brothers up. She literally, I believe the implication was she literally walked across the border and became their second mom. And she, that's why before 9/11, he wanted to make a deal with Mexico and do immigration reform before 9/11. And then when
Close. It was close. I know.
was so close. That was his whole thing. He wasn't supposed to be a war president. So that's back to 2001. We have been waiting now 24 and a half, 24 something years to fix it because the whole war on terror threw it off and made immigration a dirty word. They blamed immigrants. And if you think it's bad now, people may not remember the response after 9/11 for immigrants and immigration was pretty severe. And well, maybe, it's been a long time now. And, every American now has family members who are different, just different races, different religions, from different countries. You go to Colorado, you see immigrants everywhere. Everybody and these are hardworking, mostly really good people. I'm not talking about the criminals, the criminals. And so the win-win and uh, having a few million more people, it's not like we're a small country. We're not like, Singapore on this tiny piece of land.
These numbers are a drop in the bucket, you know.
It's
Really.
tiny. We're a huge we're one of the biggest countries in the world, and if we take Canada, no, I'm kidding, and Greenland, we'll even be bigger. So the fact is that you want to compete with a country that's got 1 billion people, an economy that's got the China, you need more people. And don't worry about AI. They're not going to replace it's going to make life better. And yeah, certain jobs will be replaced, but what would 90% of the jobs used to be on farms, right?
Yeah.
What is it now? Like 1%?
Yeah. Yeah. The opposite. Well, listen, your passion is effusive and contagious, and your clients are very lucky to have such a zealous advocate. Uh,
Well,
over-
yeah, I mean, I've been waiting for this since 2000, like I say, 2001. And, common sense, for everybody. We want to have safe streets and we want to have a growing economy. And you don't want to say, gee, I really wish I could open up a restaurant or a store here, but I won't be able to find enough, good workers. I mean, that's kind of pathetic.
yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. All right, Mr. Yurkofsky, you are on point as always. I appreciate your perspective. I appreciate your time. And it's raining here. No tennis today, unfortunately. Um,
What about ping pong?
ping pong is a possibility. Table tennis. For
Yes.
those, we're gonna have to record this and play this. For those that do not know, Mr. Yurkovsky and I have some of the most intense table tennis matches that you will ever see under the professional level. So we
And I have a Chinese immigrant who I've hired to teach me, who was the number 3 female ping pong player of the entire world.
That's right. That's right. So I'm at a disadvantage. I actually was on a winning streak. David got this new coach, and it's been very difficult for me to get W's. So I'm hoping to change that. But some good competition. Dave, thanks again, and we'll see you on the next one.
And thanks for your advocacy for all this. You're making the country better, and you're making it possible for people to achieve their American dream. For immigrants from all over the world who are willing to work in these hospitality type industries, and also helping employers who find enough workers to keep their business thriving or expanding. Thank you, John.
Thank you. I'm happy to fight the fight just like you. Thanks, David.